right, in 3, 2. You're on.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Contractor Weekly, streaming live every Tuesday at 10 a.m. I know it is 10:20 right now, so we are still kind of overcoming some technical obstacles and technical challenges. But I'm going to be the first one to tell you that obstacles and challenges are going to come up with anything that you start that's new. If you get discouraged right from the start and you start thinking about not doing and you start thinking about quitting, then you might as well not even get started, because obstacles and challenges and overcoming them are what I am all about and what this show is all about. So that's going to be the Contractor Weekly show today. I've got some awesome people coming to you. I've got a featured guest, TJ Ware. I've got Steve Patrick calling a little bit later, talking about level the playing field, like starting that group. So I'm really excited to share all that stuff with you. And here we go. Cut to the intro. And a few words. Let's just want to kind of share a few words about the show, because, I just want to make sure we do have some advertisers and some sponsors for this show. And I want to make it very clear, to kind of get all the legal stuff out of the way, that the views and opinions expressed on this show are not the same views and opinions shared by our sponsors and our advertisers. So let's see what happens. A lot of this show is live, so we actually get live callers, and we're not exactly sure what the kinds of opinions people are going to express. Obviously, we don't want anything, no kind of hate speech or anything that sort of hurts people, and so just kind of keep that in mind. A couple other things on a few words is that this is a show for the roofing industry, so please, give us a call. We have a hotline live on the post that you can kind of see. You can call us live on the show, and we will, possibly take your call. I'm not 100% sure, but give us a call and let's give it a try. Ask us questions, ask us, comment about what's going on, what you hear on the show. We really want to get your engagement, your interaction, your feedback, and we're gonna do it old school style. Back when I was younger, in my younger days, I used to listen to the radio all the time, and I'd get live call-ins. I used to try and call in all the time. So it was really frustrating though, because I could never get through. You probably, some of the older folks, older people like me probably remember that, trying to call the radio station, never being able to get through. So you should be able to get through here. Feel free to give us a call. The number is on the description, and that is our hotline. So, let's kind of get going with some of the things going on in the news. I just found out this morning that my friend and colleague, Sam Taggart, is actually doing a D2D workshop here in town, in Denver. This show is located in Denver, and my roofing company is also located in Denver. So, it's really cool that Sam's doing that, and his shows have been so successful. And, he's a friend of mine, and got to know him a while ago because I went to a conference, 3 years ago, and I ended up taking him to the airport actually. And I missed my flight not because of him. It was because I was hanging out with Sam and another friend of ours named Ali. And we were having lunch and hanging out and checking out Ali's Lamborghini and just having such a great time in LA that I just forgot that I had to be at the airport, and Sam did too. So we zoomed to the airport, and I happened to be renting this really cool Porsche that weekend. It was such a good time. And me and Sam were just zooming to the airport, and I dropped him off. He made it to his flight, but by the time I parked my car and got, to my flight, it was completely, I had missed it. So it was not a fun call to make to my wife. She was expecting me home, and had, our kids kind of bouncing off the walls, and had, she was kind of upset. And so had to, make up to her. I was going to sleep in the doghouse that night. So anyways, yeah, it's really cool that Sam's doing that. A little bit of news there. Some other news going on. So every week we're going to talk about lumber prices. And right now the lumber, we're just going to kind of go off of Home Depot prices. It's $84 today. We're going to keep doing week-to-week updates on lumber prices. I do, think it's really important that we kind of are up to speed on our lumber prices, because I know for us, we do a roofing job. We schedule it, 2 weeks, let's say 2 weeks ago. We do it now, and it turns out we have to do a redeck on that roof, and so if that's like a 30 square roof, and we're having to redeck it 2 weeks after we initially like kind of quoted it and closed it and whatnot, then that can increase the price dramatically if there's like a $10 difference or $20 difference. So we're talking, depending on the size of the roof, thousands of dollars. So not an easy solution with lumber prices, guys. I'd, definitely give us a call if you have some good ideas about how to kind of approach this, or what's been working for you as a roofing contractor with lumber prices and whatnot. So, man, I was just telling our team here that this was not that long ago. I mean, like 8 months ago, lumber prices, I think, were like $15. I mean, I just remember like a piece of OSB was like between $15 and $20, and I remember it even being like $11 and being like, oh, wow, that's like, we're going to do well on this job because, we can sell it for, more than that, than $11 a piece, and now it's like $84, and that's just insane. So, keep a close eye on that. Tune into the show to find out, about lumber prices. And we are going to actually have some experts as well. I am planning to get some experts in the industry, about material and supply experts to kind of have a more thorough discussion about kind of what's going on with lumber prices and with material prices. With that, I do want to tag a good friend of ours, Reggie Brock. Let's tag Reggie because, and also Greg Bloom. They are vice presidents in the field at Beacon Roofing Supply, and I would love to have them on the show one of these days as well. So let's tag them so you can kind of see what's going on. The next piece of news I kind of want to go over is a really interesting documentary that came out recently. It's called Confessions of a Contractor. And so it is featuring a contractor named Justin Cosequin, which I have recently had the pleasure to meet. Very, very interesting person, very savvy business person as well. A young guy in my book, in his late 30s, and he's done a lot. And so this Confessions of a Contractor kind of goes through their entire process, a 50-minute documentary that is very well done, I must say. The production value on there is very high end. I am a video creator as well. I know how difficult it is to get the lighting just right, to get the camera frames just right, to get all the shots that you need. And that's what they did at Confessions of a Contractor. I was very impressed. So let's definitely tag Justin. Let's get him, his spouse is on it as well. Tiffany Cosequin was on that show. Ben Menchaca. What's up, Ben? Ben was on the show as well. Johnny, and I don't know how to pronounce your name exactly, Johnny. Satoris, I believe. And so, it was cool seeing him on the show as well, and a lot of other really interesting people. And there's one, man, I can't remember his name right now, but he had a viral video, really funny viral video of him knocking on a door to sell a roof. And I don't know, saying, I can't remember right now, but we're going to find that viral video and put it on the show next time. It's hilarious. And he worked at Able Roofing and Restoration. So yeah, check out Confessions of a Contractor and, give us your thoughts, give us a call, let us know what you think. So yeah, it's kind of going to kind of do it for the news at the moment. We are going to cut to one of our advertisers, and we will be right back.
When we build a company, we want to build something that's sustainable and something that's meaningful to the people that are running it. If you're a busy roofing company owner that needs help building processes, systems, culture, and teams, email me at jessica@igniteresults.net.
Waste my time. Don't say I never told you. Go, get out of my mind. I refuse to be a soldier. Waste my time. Don't say I never told you. Go, get out of my mind. I refuse to be a soldier.
Do you have 9 kids, or is it more
Reset.
than that?
5, 4. Sorry, we had a hiccup, so just come back at everything.
Okay, sounds like we had a hiccup, so we're gonna
5,
kind of.
4, 3.
Okay, so today on the show, our featured guest is TJ Ware. TJ, thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So we really appreciate you coming on, TJ. And I wanted to. So one thing that always kind of blows my mind about you is it 9 kids and one on the way, or is it 10 kids?
No, so it's 9 and 1 on the way. We have another boy due in October.
Okay, and you like to know the gender of the baby before it comes out. Have you guys ever been surprised?
I always felt like it was more practical to know the gender, because then if you're going to purchase things or something like that for the baby, whether you would purchase things with a certain theme. But I will tell you something that we've always had a struggle with, or waited very late, and that's coming up with a name. My second son actually came home from the hospital with a temporary name, Baby Boy Ware, for about a week and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
So for a week and a half, the baby had no name.
Well, the lady that does like the social security forms at the hospital, she was calling us every single day asking if we had picked a name. But I was thinking, like, this kid stuck with a name his whole life. Like, you've heard that Johnny Cash song, A Boy Named Sue. So I'm thinking to myself, I've really got to make sure that I don't screw this up. So I took it very seriously every time we had to come up with a name.
How did you come up with names like that? I mean, for our kid, I know we did we just kind of looked at baby books and then started to look at interesting names. I mean, are there some kind of, gosh, for so many kids, you almost have to have like a name strategy, right?
Well, our kids' names do have a theme. They're all biblical names. And so the first one I came up with when I was reading my Bible in a porta potty in Iraq in 2004. Shortly after I got married, I went overseas, and we were expecting our first child. And I came up with his name, Asher. And then I named his middle name after my grandfather, who was my best friend. He was my best man at my wedding. And so his name's Asher Gene. And then we just continued with the trend. But it's challenging because biblical names are very prevalent. And so we always wanted to select names that weren't a real popular name at the time. I would want my kid to be, the 5th Jonathan in class or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, one thing also you have, like, one thing that's kind of cool about you guys is you thought you weren't going to be able to have kids, right? There were like some issues with that. And when you kind of first met Jackie and you guys, kind of dating, starting to have a family and everything, there was a possibility there that kids weren't in your future. Is that right?
No, that's very true. Jackie, when we met, she told me that she had been told by a doctor that she couldn't have kids. So, I think I always wanted kids, but I really wasn't that focused on it. I was young. I was 18 years old. I was in the Marine Corps. She was a college cheerleader, and it just wasn't something I thought much about. So when we found out that we were expecting Asher, it was a big surprise.
Wow. And so you started with Asher, and then like, did you set out right from the beginning, okay, we want to have like a huge family, or just sort of like started to happen naturally?
So I don't remember, I've told this story of, hey, maybe it's God's plan for us to have a big family. And then we kind of embraced it. Now it's getting like a little bit out of hand, but it's been an adventure.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. And so you've been a business owner for a long time, with starting with roofing and starting with, and then you went into public adjusting. And like, how do you sort of like, there's no such thing as like work-life balance, or even like family balance and business balance, but you're doing it. Like, what is like the key to like managing so many people plus a business at the same time? I mean, that seems just like kind of mind-boggling to me. I only have 2 kids. I can barely do it.
So, what's interesting is, number one, I would say, just because I have a business and a large family, that really doesn't make me an expert.
Yeah.
We look for things that help things work, and make things work more smoothly. But, I would just say, number one, we're constantly moving. We're constantly going, with this very little downtime. I'll be honest with you. One thing I did about 12 years ago now is I just cut television out of my life. I just thought to myself, like, TV shows, and over the air television, like, I just don't have a place for it. I don't need it to take up the time in my life that I could use to put, toward my family, or toward my business. And so I would say that probably helped me be a more effective person over the last decade or so.
So, okay, you don't watch Netflix.
No, well, no, I didn't say that. But what I did is I got rid of all TV, over the air, satellite, everything like that, in about 2009, 2010.
Oh, gotcha.
And just started focusing on developing myself and working on the family and developing our business. Now, over time, as streaming services became more prevalent, we did adopt those, and we do watch movies and shows. But what I realized is that, previously, in the way that you and I grew up, Armando, people would make television part of their normal routine, part of their schedule. You would catch a show every night or every day at this time. You would watch the news every night. You would watch sports every day, every weekend. And all of those things, I realized, those things weren't helping me achieve the goals that I wanted to achieve in life. And so I just chose, not to spend my time focusing on those things. And instead I focused on building businesses. And now, I have my 10th kid on the way. We do a lot of things as a family.
You say it so casually. I've got my 10th kid on the way. It's like,
well, what
that's pretty unusual.
I hustle. And all of us here are hustlers, just like Paul and Kim and you. Like, we work and we hustle and we enjoy working. And because I have such a big family, that drives me a little bit harder than others, I would say.
Well, I mean, it sounds like one of the keys that you're sort of referring to is, I mean, I am definitely guilty of watching a lot of TV. I mean, it's a problem, I mean, and I think a lot of us get watching TV on the weekends, and so, I'm probably exaggerating. I mean, I have a few really good shows that I like, and like at the end of the night, like once kind of everyone's asleep and I put the kids to sleep, I can kind of watch, I don't know, some kind of whatever shows I'm into at the moment. And so it's not like I'm watching TV all day long, but I definitely can. If I took a week off, I probably would watch a lot of TV. It sounds like cutting that out of your life and focusing instead on, things that are productive, like, building your business. And there's so many things involved with that, has been a pretty huge thing for you. So that could be a good piece of advice for the audience, right? Is like, if, you kind of monitor what's your TV watching like, or are you, because I know if you're up on like every episode of like a certain series, for me, it's right now it's Mythic Quest on Apple TV. I like love that show, and I'm like watching it every, but it's probably not a good sign, right? Like you're probably not up to speed on like any season TV show, or are you?
Well, no, not really. No,
Okay.
not right now. I'm not. And there's a lot of big series that I missed out on, and we'll binge watch something every now and then. I think people should have recreation and their time off and stuff like that. I'm just saying, if you've got a big family and you're a business owner and you're watching a lot of TV, then either you've got stuff figured out way better than I do, or you're not really reaching your potential success. And I would say, somebody said this to me a long time ago, and it made a lot of sense. They said, nobody sits on their deathbed and says, oh man, I wish I would have watched more television.
Wow. Yeah. I haven't heard that before. That is really good. So nobody sits on their deathbed wondering wondering what's going on with the television. That's true. That's a really good.
Or wishing that they would have spent more time in their life watching television. They say, I wish I would have engaged more in my family. I wish I would have taken that job opportunity that I passed up. I wish I wouldn't have been too afraid to step out on a ledge and start that new business. That's what people regret at the end of their lives. And I didn't want to have those regrets. I do suffer from fear of missing out. And that pushes me probably sometimes to my own detriment. That gives me anxiety at times. But I push hard and I try to accomplish a lot because we only have a small window of time on this earth.
Yeah. Gosh, that's really true, and that is, that's also, something that I think about quite a bit, man. And like, it's really cool that, we're on that same sort of wavelength. Cause I mean, even this show itself, man, the Contractor Weekly, we've, there's been so many times where I've just was like, man, it's just too much, let's just, but then I think about like, where am I going to, on my deathbed and like my goals in life. And, we're fully committed to this one season, 6 months and 24 episodes and, make it as lively and engaging as possible. So, I think that's really great advice. And TJ, we're going to kind of let you go here, and we really appreciate you coming on the show. And we'd like to keep it a regular thing. Maybe we can just call in, and we are kind of planning to have like different callers on the show, like at the same time, and if there's sort of a hot topic in the roofing industry, any kind of like hot topic is being debated, we plan to kind of have, sort of two subject matter experts on the show at the same time debating it out, with me sort of as a moderator. So that's kind of something that's coming down the road, and it'd be really interesting to have you part of that.
Yeah, I'd love to be a part of it. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the industry, and hope y'all have a blessed week.
Okay. You too, TJ. We'll see you later.
Bye.
That was TJ Ware on the show, and such a good interview, such a great guy too. I love TJ and his family and Jackie, and such a great group of people. So we will be right back with some more content for you in just a moment.
This is the commercial that doesn't have any sound, so I'm just going to skip next to it. That's not my fault, is it? No, it's...
Yep, let's do Logan. Sure. I got Steve Patrick at 11. He texted me like he's not available till 11. So I got to kind of wait some time. Yeah. Right at 11. He'll be the very last one.
I got the Logan slogan ready for you too.
Do we have a live caller?
On the comments.
What do they say?
Yo, I'm ready now.
Okay, who was that? That was Ben? I can call Ben right now.
Hey, we're going to talk about professions. I know we just...
All right. I know what I'm doing with him. Can you turn on my headset? Can you hear me? Ben? Oh, you got me? Okay, Ben, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. So you're not on the air just yet. I'll let you know when we are. But yeah, man, man. Just want to kind of get into a little bit of like Confessions of a Contractor and sort of your participation in that, and you know, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Pretty kind of chill. So
Yeah.
I will let you know. So stand by for just one moment. Yeah, I'm ready. And we are back, guys. Thank you for tuning into the show. Thank you for being a part of this. I got a surprise caller, Ben Menchaca. He was actually in Confessions of a Contractor, and we've got him live on the phone right now. Ben, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
Okay, awesome. You are live on the air. How does it feel to be live on the air, Ben?
It feels good. I enjoy what you do, and I appreciate you allowing me to have a little bit of airtime today.
Absolutely, man. It's really great to have you. You had a good week, looks like, last week. You know, that post that you did, the 12K. I'm very happy for you, very excited for you. Are you interested in getting into the loan business by any chance?
Yeah, I'm from Chicago, so that's in my blood. I think I'm gonna go into the loan business. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's get a loan going here. So Ben, let's talk about Confessions of a Contractor. So I watched it last weekend, and I really enjoyed it, man. It was like I was thoroughly impressed. I mean, you know, Justin really killed it. You know, have you seen the whole thing yet?
Yeah, I saw it. You know, they debuted it in Denver at Confessions of a Contractor large loss convention, and I unfortunately couldn't be there, but I saw it the next day or the following, and I really liked it. I mean, it took a lot of they compressed it really well, and I was just glad to be a part of it because I know there was some we did some filming. They flew in some people from LA to interview me, and I knew there was more on there, but like I was thoroughly impressed with it. I think that everyone should kind of watch that because the way they captured the culture, it was amazing. So I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, no, I mean the way that he kind of like clearly showed sort of the you know, kind of like growing and the culture, and then kind of how things started to decline, and the whole process of the decline was like very sort of like in depth, you know, and he doesn't hold back. I mean, Justin, you know, had some real, it took a lot of courage to do that episode, you know, or to do that documentary, you know. I know I would definitely struggle with that. And you know, I think he's probably taken a lot of heat. I'm planning to get him on the show, you know, at some point and go a little more in depth with it. You know, because you were a part of that. Like, you kind of came on when they were in a couple years or something like that, and with Abel during that time.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, it was interesting. They had been going for a while. I came in at the ass end of it, so they were in decline. I didn't know it yet, but I came in. We flew in. You can imagine, I told this on the other, you know, Dimitri's interviews, that I literally packed up my bags, gave everything away, including my cat, and went to the East Coast to live and explore the storm restoration deal.
Yeah. And
when I got there, we were in a big mansion on the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. or Maryland. And I was first of all, I've never been in a big house, a big expensive house. Right. Mm-hmm. So I'm thoroughly impressed with that. Then I've never been around that many people in one spot. You had young people, old people, middle-aged, whatever, all converging from all over. And so just listening to all these personalities, and they always bought us food and treated us right. I think that's why we're in sales, is because we eat good, because like was just it was a treat for me to be taken out to eat and dinner, because I didn't really do that in my previous, you know. So they took care of us. Yeah. So we met there, and I came in and then stayed with them for like 90 days maybe, and then it was over.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. And that's where you but that was what broke you into the roofing industry, was kind of working with Abel and that whole sort of thing that was going on there.
Yeah, well, that's where I made my mark and developed my skill set in those 90 days or whatever it was. Like I said, knocked 850 doors my first month, and I just went ham because, desperation is a great motivator.
Yeah, yeah,
you
absolutely.
know,
Yeah, absolutely, man.
well,
Well, and I'm curious. So you have kind of evolved from all of that. Now, Ben, right? You've kind of gotten into the coaching business. It sounds like the sales coaching. I'm a little, and one little thing I kind of want to mention to you. I know you did that interview on Roofing Insights, which is really cool. It was a great interview. Our audience is a different audience really than Roofing Insights. So we have a whole nother, so I encourage you to get, and you are growing, right? You're up and coming. You're up and coming in this industry. I would encourage you're going to have to tell the same story over and over and over probably. But like the trick is telling the same story to new people. So the old story, new people. And so here we are with new people that may not have heard it, So yeah, keep getting really good at the story that you have, because it's quite fascinating. It's really great to see your progression. Because have you gotten into the sales coaching business now? Do I understand this correctly?
well, yeah, I've been taking on clients. I do consulting for Roofing Insights for his roofing school,
Gotcha.
and I also do coaching for just anybody who wants to do a Zoom call or a consultation team. Like, I haven't really gone into going and flying, doing the flyouts
Okay.
and training yet, just because I'm with a specific company, and I don't think that's cool, right now. But
Yeah.
once, but yeah, I train. You guys can hit me up, and I just get a calendar, and we just talk and chop it up. And we've had a lot of good success. Get a lot of great feedback. In fact, I coached a guy on the phone while he was at the door. I did a pitch diagnostic on him, and he listened to what I said, but more importantly, put it into action. So on the next door, he used the pitch and actually got on the roof.
Oh, wow.
So I wish I would have caught that on tape.
Yeah, man, you really should. I mean, I would encourage you to get, you even just use your phone, get a little tripod, a little mic on it, stick it on there, and start recording stuff. You can send it to us. We do remote editing, or you can find a remote editor somewhere you can send that over to, and they can edit for you, create some little pieces of content there. So that's really cool, man. And we want to encourage, I want to encourage you. I think, I do a little consulting myself on this, where people, we do like kickoffs. I'll go to their location, their roofing company or wherever, and tell my story and do a little kickoff. So, I encourage businesses you should have like regular, visiting kind of like speakers, to talk to your team, because they just get tired of hearing the same company owner say the same thing over and over, So once a quarter, like have a different speaker, have Ben come in one of these days, have me come in, have other guys come in and talk about, kind of get the team riled up and give a little fresh perspective. The team always kind of appreciates that. So yeah, Ben, we're going to kind of call it, we're going to let you go. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Really appreciate having you, man. And yeah, if you can share the stream, that would be awesome. We really appreciate it. And yeah, we will be in touch, man. I kind of want to make you a regular on the show, bro. Feel free to call in on the hotline. If you listening on the live stream and you just want to call right in, just call, we'll be like, whoa, we got Ben on the phone,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Media Lab. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed meeting you guys at these conferences. You guys are super gracious to me, and yeah, whatever I can do to help you guys out. Thank you for the new audience, the introduction. I'm loving meeting all these new people. They seem to be inspired and get something out of it, and it the money's great, but inspiring and building up. It's about contribution now, So
well, yeah, I mean, there's an entire generation coming up, man, who are a lot of Latino people who are Latino, actually Hispanic people who are Hispanic, who like you and I, who are coming up, who need work, who want to get ahead, and who can look at guys like us who've kind of gotten ahead and despite some challenges, and can get into sales, and like learn how to do sales, and
I think, sorry to interrupt you, but I think that what you're saying makes sense, and it makes dollars. But here's the thing: let's give our narrative instead of the narrative the other side is pushing on people that were victims and lazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, One thing that's kind of, I don't know if you kind of share this, but me kind of growing up, I honestly didn't even realize that I was like a Hispanic guy. I was just kind of like, what? And then I went to college, and then like I was like kind of looking at I went to a pretty good school, University of Arizona, and I majored in philosophy, dude, like the most random thing. And so I'm sitting there, and then I kind of started looking around. I was like, because I grew up in Vegas, and I was like, it's a melting pot there. And I was like, okay, where are like some other people who kind of look like me, like scratching my head, and but that was no excuse, man. It's just not really an issue for us, and we were able to get ahead without that kind of thing going on, as far as being like a victim or anything like that. So I think it's really cool that you mentioned that.
Yeah, I grew up in Texas, and it was super prejudiced, but I don't let that stop me from doing what I got to do. I learned from it. And we can get into this later. It's a long discussion, but thank you guys so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
This is a topic I'm very interested about, though, so we may be kind of coming back to it for sure. So anyways, Ben, thank you again. You guys reach out to Ben if you need some sales training. That's cool. You just do it on a Zoom call, man. Like, how cool is that? So you can do a Zoom call and kind of get going on what he has to offer. So thank you again, Ben. We will be right back. Can you hear me, Ben?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. That was really good, man. Thank you so much.
When we build a company, we want to build something that's sustainable and something that's meaningful to the people that are running it. If you're a busy roofing company owner that needs help building processes, systems, culture, and teams, email me at jessica@igniteresults.net.
Waste my time. Don't say I never told you. Go, get out of my mind. I refuse to be a soldier. Waste my time. Don't say I never told you. Go, get out of my mind. I refuse to be a soldier.
Perfect. All right, so we are back on the show. Thank you so much for staying tuned in. And right now we have Logan Graff of Crest Exteriors. Logan, thank you for coming on the show. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Never better, man.
That's great. That's really great to hear. Well, you guys are getting tons of hail, right?
Man, we've had all kinds of weather this year, and it's just getting started, it seems.
Yeah.
We've seen hail, wind, some tornadoes, all kinds of stuff.
What a crazy business that we're in, right? Like, it's like I feel bad when people get their stuff damaged, but at the same breath, like we can, I feel good that we can like help them out and kind of get them restored, right? It's such a weird dynamic that goes on with this business.
It is. That's the mission. Most of our customers are never calling us with good news. They're calling us with bad news. They need help. They have a problem, and they need it now. Not right now, but really right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in case our audience doesn't know, so Logan, you are the one of the partners over at Crest Exteriors in Dallas, Texas, and you guys have locations all over the country as well, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and you work with Sam Struthers there. You sort of like got started with him, and then he told me a little about the story about making you a partner and stuff, and I thought that was a really cool story. And Sam's definitely a great guy. Let's tag Sam, make sure he knows Logan's on the show right now. And yeah, he's a great guy. He actually helped me out personally, man. Like I was at RoofCon when they first started, and I was like struggling with and had brand new business, right out of the gate. And I was struggling with like supplier and all kinds of stuff. And I went to dinner. I literally went to RoofCon that first year just to meet Sam in person and like have dinner with him and like, pick his brain. And he was so generous with, his education and like the information, and really did help me out. I came back home and kind of used what he said, and it definitely got me on better footing. So it's really great that you kind of have a partner like that.
Sure. He's one of the smartest guys I know. And when I got into this business, I was green as they come.
Mm-hmm.
My background was inside sales in a phone room in a completely different industry. And I was so hungry and thirsty for knowledge. You'll find this kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
When the office was opened, I was working in the back in the quote unquote sales room, and I kept having to come up front to his office to ask questions. One day I just said, "Hey, I can't keep walking back and forth. I have so many questions all day. I'm just moving my desk into your office." And I did that. And
wow.
He thought I was kidding, but I really did that. And I just had to get my questions answered. We were busy as heck. It was in 2016. There was a hugest hailstorm I've ever seen in my life in Plano and Wiley. And, our phones just didn't stop ringing. We were working sun up to sundown 7 days a week, and I needed his knowledge. And I've been fortunate to be able to not only partner with him, but work with him and learn from him and share that info with our teams.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. I want to get him on the show. I want to get him on the podcast. I want to go long form with him, just 2-hour talk. Cause he kind of told me that he was like, before roofing, he was in the pool business and that kind of thing. So, and then kind of, got into roofing, and saw it was a lucrative business and whatnot. But anyways, Logan, let's jump into a little bit of Logan's slogans. Like you got that hashtag. I mean, you sent you sent us a small, a kid's shirt, which my kid, you got to get my kid wearing it and get some photos out there. I did share your slogan today, only dead fish go with the flow. And like, what is this something, is like a brand you want to build, or what is the thought behind Logan's slogans?
Hey, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked. So I'll give you the summary version. A long time ago, when I first got into sales, and it's also my opinion in any sales arena, I'm hit all over the place with negativity, rejection, customers not willing to do business with you right now, or they don't want to talk to you right now, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Sales is full of rejections, rebuttals, and everything, and it's a negative connotation. So a long time ago, I started programming my brain with the help of some mentors and some really established people in our community. One in particular, Jack Canfield, who's my favorite author. One of his books that I picked up and read transformed my brain, and over time I've been able to transform my thinking, and I program my brain on a daily basis to think positive and find positive things. Over time, I would share that information out on social media and share it with my friends, share it with my wife. Some people thought it was annoying. Other people grabbed onto it. Mm-hmm. It's just been the way of life for me. And so a few years back, another industry peer of ours mm-hmm. that actually commented on one of the posts one day and said, "Hey, Logan's slogans, that sounds like a nifty thing." So I took that, I ran with it, I got incorporated, I got a trademark on the hashtag, and I set a mission for myself to grow that in some way, shape, form, and fashion. It's not a revenue stream at this point. It's really just me putting out positivity into the world and into our community to remind people that good things happen when you stay positive, and bad things happen if you're negative, and that's just a fact. So
man, that's really cool. That's really cool. I mean, yeah, I know once things start going negative, man, it's just all downhill from there in my experience. And so it's just so important to kind of stay positive, especially when you're going through difficult things. Like getting started in roofing is extremely difficult for sure. That's got to be one of the hardest things I ever did that first year, like just knocking on doors all day long and getting, rejected all day long. And you really do need to stay positive through that experience. I mean, gosh, I jumped around for like 2 or 3 companies until I finally found one that I really liked, So, yeah, the Logan, so today's slogan is, let's see, what is it? Dead fish. Only dead fish go with the flow. That's kind of funny, right? But you know,
Sure.
what can you expand a little bit on that one? On only dead fish go with the flow.
Sure. Going with the flow is the it's human nature to just kind of, take things as they are and oh, this happened in my life, that happened in my life. Oh, there's really nothing I can do about it. Or if you're growing up and you're getting into business, you're new, you're young, whatever, you're changing businesses, there can be family curses that are going on in your brain that make you think, oh, it's going to be okay, just take it and be okay with it. I believe that just going with the flow is not okay.
Mm.
You're shortchanging yourself, you're shortchanging your peers, your employer, your family. If you're just going through the motions in life in general, you're not going to get what you want out of life. And life moves pretty fast.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller said that if life comes at you pretty fast, take around and look at it, or else you're going to miss it. That's my mentality. If you're just going with the flow, you might as well pack it up and call it quits.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you,
Only
man.
only dead fish go with the flow. And if you've ever seen a large school of fish, they're not going with the flow. They're moving around one direction 1 second, another direction another second. They're moving really fast. So that's the info behind that particular slogan.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really interesting. I really like that. And and to play a little devil's advocate, I know it's this slogan in particular. It did, I've kind of said that before. I mean, hey, we got to go with the flow here, because I think, just to give a little a devil's advocate here is where, like for example, gosh, we're thinking about going like to Disneyland like in the summer. And have you ever been to amusement parks? Oh, I'm sure you've been to amusement parks, right?
Sure.
Like, so you know how it gets so nuts sometimes, and it's like kind of stressful. And it's like sometimes when you just can't change, there's just nothing you can do to change what's going on. Like, you're kind of waiting in line, or you're in a packed crowd and you just got to wait for them to go through. Sometimes you kind of have to just go with that, right?
Sure. And I don't mean that you should just be going 1,000 miles an hour all the time. It's more of an inspiration to remind folks that, hey, if you're going to play a role
Mm-hmm.
in business, in life, whatever the case may be, whether you're a business owner or you're an entry level employee, if you want to get more things out of life, if you want to have wonderful experiences, you can't always have the mentality of just going with the flow.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of times where we all need to relax and we do need to go with the flow
Yeah.
and somewhat take it easy.
I think
But
Sam
I
might
tell
be
you what,
Sam might be in a little doing a little too much of that lately, right?
hey,
Fishing
I
and
gotta stick up.
hunting and
I gotta stick up for it, man. We've had a lot of those things planned for a long time, and they got canceled for this reason or that reason.
right, yeah,
And so it just so happens that they all fall in order sometimes.
yeah,
But
definitely,
to his
definitely,
defense, he had those things planned out.
yeah,
But
that's really cool.
it's just a mentality state of people who are looking to progress to the next steps and the next levels. And it's not for everyone, and it's not the end all be all. I just want to be a motivation to people who are out there swinging the bat and trying to make things happen. There's always some motivation to be found. There's always something positive with any scenario to be found. You've heard that saying, "Oh, fell down the stairs. Oh, well, at least I got down there quickly." Instead of saying,
Yeah,
"I fell down the stairs and I broke a hip."
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's two ways
That's really
to look
cool.
at things.
Yeah, no, and I shared it. I'm gonna keep sharing your onto my stories, Logan's slogans, and we'll keep it going. We want to make it be a part of the show as well on a weekly basis, and use the hashtag and whatnot. So yeah, we're gonna let you go, Logan. Thank you so much for kind of elaborating on Logan's slogans, and with it's really great to keep watching you kind of do what you're doing in the roofing industry as well. So yeah, let us know if you ever need anything, and we will be in touch.
All right. Thanks so much. Very grateful for the opportunity. You guys have a great day.
All right, you too, Logan. See you.
You bet.
That was Logan Graff with Crest Exteriors, and we will be right back. So that's our show for today, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate this opportunity to kind of give the roofing industry some light, fun, engaging content that brings in all kinds of different voices from the roofing industry. We always end the show with a final thought, and so my final thought on this episode was kind of in line with what Ben was talking about and what Logan was talking about, which is to kind of keeping that positive attitude through every challenge that you kind of come up with. So, we ourselves at the Contractor Weekly have encountered several challenges since we've started this show. I had the idea for this show about over a year ago, when I first met Kim Reed doing my podcast. And it's taken us this long to kind of start to develop it and whatnot. And we continue to have challenges and obstacles, and it's just so important to keep a positive attitude through any challenge and obstacle, and so, Ben was kind of speaking to that. Logan was also speaking to that, and these are two people who've overcome like pretty extreme challenges in my opinion, and they keep coming back, and they keep doing it and keep moving forward. So that's how I'm going to end the show today. I want to do a couple thank yous here to our producer, Tyler Shadell, Brock Hunter, and Gina Moran. Thank you guys for being a part of the show. I also want to thank our sponsor. We got Jack Hanks Public Adjuster. We've got the Commercial Roofing Academy. We've got the Media Lab, which is our video production business. And also we have Get the Referral as our season sponsors. We are also kind of looking for more advertisers and more sponsors, and so don't be surprised if you hear from one of us to be a part of the show. So yeah, feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that